Well, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Welcome to another edition of the I Am Able Foundation's Medicine Makers, where if your destination is a career in medicine, we're going to show you how to get there. I am your host for this evening, Dr. Renee Roberts. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician and physician mentor with the I Am Able Foundation. So I'm very excited to have you with me this evening. I am your host and your guest for this evening's show. Tonight's going to be a special show because we are going to be talking about the foundation itself, the I Am Able Foundation, and how you can become a part of this foundation. Remember, you are watching us live right now on Chicago's CAN TV, Channel 21. You can head on over to www.cantv.org and click on the Channel 21 icon to catch us here. Tell your friends about it. What I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about us. The I Am Able Foundation is a nonprofit organization based here in the Chicagoland area. And our goal is to raise up the next generation of healthcare heroes. So, tonight is special because it's actually our application season, and so I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you about the foundation and what the program has to offer. So this is geared for high school students, college students, and even those of you that have already finished college. So if you're a post-baccalaureate student and you have any interest in a career in healthcare, primarily medicine, but the program is geared for those students that are interested in becoming pre-medical students and on to becoming medical doctors. So again, as I had mentioned, right now is our open enrollment period. There is an application process if you would like to become a student, or what we call a mentee, with the I Am Able Foundation. You can head on over to the I Am Able Foundation website, which is located at www.iamable.org, and ABLE is spelled A-B-E-L. And you have a fantastic website that has all of the information available to you, so you can learn more about all of the exciting things that the I Am Able Foundation has to offer. We are now accepting applications. Our application cycle began around December 1st, and we are accepting applications all the way through March 15th. So there is still time to get your application in, or if you have questions, you certainly can feel free to email us at info@iamable.org. Well, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the program. Why is the I Am Able program, I Am Able Foundation necessary? Well, the fact of the matter is that we all are aware that there are serious healthcare disparities, not just with how care is delivered, but who is delivering that care. There just are not enough black and brown men and women physicians. And so the I Am Able Foundation was founded by Dr. Lamenta Sweetie Conway out of need, out of necessity, when she was going through medical school and had some challenging family situations and setbacks. There just was not enough of a support system there to help support black and brown medical students, or even those that are interested in going in to medicine. And so the I Am Able Foundation was birthed out of that. The ultimate goal, as Dr. Conway will say, is we are here to raise up our next generation of healthcare heroes. So the I Am Able Foundation actually has several programs, but our flagship program is what we call the Urban Bridges Mentoring Physician Pipeline Program, or Urban Bridges Program. And so again, this is geared for students that are in high school. It is also geared for undergraduate students, as well as students that have already completed their college degree and have maybe decided later that they want to go and become a medical doctor, what we call post-baccalaureate students. So if you are a high school student, college student, or post-baccalaureate student and want to apply specifically for the Urban Bridges Mentoring Program, you need to be reside in the Chicagoland area. Let's say you're not in Chicago, or maybe you live 2 hours outside of Chicago or even out of state. You can still participate. We actually have a student affiliate program. But however, I would like to note that the student affiliate program is only for college and post-baccalaureate students. So let's go on to talk about a little bit about what do we do with the I Am Able Foundation. So one of our main goals is we want to diversify healthcare. I know when I was going through the pre-med process and even on to medical school, there just were not a lot of students that looked like me. Not a lot of black and brown students. And medical school is very challenging. It's very rewarding, but at the same time, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to be able to go down this journey to become a physician. It's a huge time commitment. It definitely is a time commitment. After high school, we've got to do 4 years of college, take pre-medical coursework, and then from there apply to medical school, which is definitely no easy feat. And I will be the first to tell you that can definitely present some challenges. So what we're trying to do with the I Am Able Foundation is make that less of a burden, make this process easier, because it does take an entire village to raise a pre-medical student, or to get someone from the high school stage to college and then on to a pre-med student and on to medical school. So the fact of the matter is we need doctors that look like us. I know you guys may be familiar with some of the statistics. African Americans, if we're specifically talking about the African American population, we make up about 14.7% of the U.S. population. But when we actually look at the number of practicing physicians, medical doctors here in the United States, African Americans make up about 5.7, percent of practicing physicians. Think about that. In the entire United States of America, if you're wanting to see a physician of African American descent, it's only about 5.7% of us. And the numbers are even a little bit more saddening if we're looking at the numbers of black men that are in medicine. We have a dire need to increase the numbers of black men in medicine. You may not know this, but fewer black men applied to medical school in the year 2014 than they did in the year 1978. Now think about that. We've come a long way, but the numbers of black male physicians is definitely lagging behind. And there's so many factors that play into that. Just rates of college education, dealing with, structural racism, upbringing. It's just a lot. It's not to say that we can do it. We definitely can do it. We are very resilient, but there's just a lot of extra challenges that black and brown students are faced with that can make it just that much harder for becoming a physician. So, one of the things that we like to stress is that, again, more numbers of black and brown physicians are needed, because chances are patients are more likely to trust physicians that have similar cultural background to them. I see this a lot with my own patients that are African American. It's like so exciting to see the smiles on their faces when I come through the exam room door, and some of them say, man, whew, I'm just so relieved. I'm so happy to find out that you're my physician and that you look like me. So we are definitely needed. We need a seat at the table. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do if you become a part of the I Am Able Foundation. Again, for high school, college, and post-baccalaureate students, if you're here in the Chicagoland area, our flagship program is what's called the Saturday Morning Professor Series. I'm going to say that again, Saturday Morning Professor Series. This is one of my personal favorites. I love teaching during these sessions. So when you become a mentee with the I Am Able Foundation, you will actually get paired up one-on-one with a physician mentor, which is absolutely fantastic. So you right off the bat have the opportunity to be hooked in and connected with a local physician in the community. And we have physicians that participate from all different specialties, internal medicine, family medicine, cardiology, pediatrics, obstetrics, gynecology, surgery, gastroenterology, so all the different specialties. And you actually have the opportunity to get paired up with a physician mentor. We try to do our best to pair up students based on interest or geographical location, but nonetheless, you do get the benefit of getting paired up with a physician mentor who you can stay in contact with, hopefully go and shadow them. I know the COVID-19 pandemic has kind of hampered that somewhat depending on where that particular physician practices, but many students are having the opportunity to actually go into the office, shadow the physician, possibly go into the operating room and be able to shadow your physician mentor. So again, the Saturday Morning Professor Series, what that is, this is the foundation. This is when you actually learn how to doctor, okay? One of the biggest things that you will learn as a pre-medical student, and I still have flashbacks to this day about this process, is learning how to take a patient history, what we call the H&P. H stands for history and P stands for physical. We say, hey, we got to go in and do an H&P. And essentially that is the physician-patient interview, sitting down with your patient and interviewing them to figure out what the concern is, what their medical issue is. And that goes on every single day in doctor offices, in emergency rooms, in urgent care facilities, you name it. We sit down and do what's called an H&P. And there is a finesse to that. This is not something that you can just read in a book and just walk into a room and go in blind. It takes a lot of practice to be able to get good at listening and interviewing patients so that you can figure out what the issue is and what you need to do for them. So what we do the third Saturday of every month, we all get together. Now that during the pandemic, we were on Zoom together virtually with about 80, 90 of our mentees, our students, and we would have a presentation. And during that presentation, we actually break down all of the components of the history, and you will, as the students, will actually learn how to practice taking a history. So that'll be from anything from what we call the chief complaint. That's what is the patient coming in today with. I'm coming in with belly pain, or I'm coming in with chest pain. And how do we start that process of interviewing the patient? We then move on to learning how to get what's called the history of present illness. So the narrative, tell us what happened. When did your pain start? Where is it located? What makes the pain better? What makes the pain worse? You'll learn how to take a medication history. You'll learn how to calculate medication dosages for certain medications, such as antibiotics. And then you'll learn how to take a social history. So asking questions about alcohol use, drug use, anything of that nature, tobacco use, okay? Lots of different things that we do as doctors every day. So each Saturday, again, third Saturday of the month that we get together, each Saturday we learn a different component of the history. And then at the very end, we actually have a practical session where we will have our physician mentors who will volunteer and actually act as a standardized patient. So we'll have a case for the day, and maybe we're going to learn about belly pain caused by an appendicitis, and I will act that out for the students. There'll be a whole series of questions that the students will practice. I actually will serve as the patient, and then our students will step into that doctor role, introduce themselves as Dr. So-and-so. And it's actually quite exciting to see the process happen over the course of the year. And then it accumulates at the end in the spring with our mock clinical competition. You're like, why do we need to practice this? Because this is actually something that you will be doing as a medical student. I still remember the day I had to do my mock practical where we go in and interview patients. I didn't have the benefit of having the I Am Abel Foundation teach me all of these skills, prior to me going to medical school. I had to crash and burn and learn on the fly, whereas some of my other counterparts had already known how to do this because maybe their mom or dad, sister or brother were physicians, and a lot of students have an advantage prior to even stepping foot into a medical school classroom. So again, this is why we're so excited here at the I Am Able Foundation to be able to give students that opportunity to say, hey, it's okay if you don't have any doctors in your family. I was the very first physician in my family. It's okay if you're the first one in your family to go to college or first one to go to medical school. We will teach you how to do it. We will teach you how to get there. So that way, by the time you start medical school, you already have a solid foundation, and that puts you at a much better position to be successful in medical school. So the Saturday Morning Professor Series, again, when it was COVID, we were doing it virtually. We are now back in person. We actually meet on that third Saturday on the campus of Northwestern University Medical Center down there at their medical school in downtown Chicago, which is fantastic. And then we'll go through again and break down a component of that history, accumulating in the spring with our mock clinical competition. So this is open to our first year students. So if you're applying to the foundation for the very first time, you will be enrolled into our first year student curriculum, where you'll learn the components of the history and physical. We do have some students that have already gone through the first year of the program, which is absolutely fantastic, and we call these our second year students, okay? So after you've done the first year, you can actually come back as a second year student to participate in the advanced curriculum. So this is a lecture series. This is super exciting because students actually get to go down different tracks based on medical specialties. So you will spend time doing a cardiology track. Well, you will literally have sessions on Saturdays with a cardiologist, learn all about the different ailments that can affect the heart. There's so many: heart attacks, cardiovascular disease. You'll learn how to read EKGs, which is absolutely fantastic. I never knew how to read an EKG until I got to medical school, but we've got high school students, high school and college students that are literally out there reading EKGs and making diagnoses based off of that in high school before they have ever even stepped foot into medical school. So it's just a fantastic learning opportunity. We also have a track for orthopedics, so if you guys are interested in like broken bones, casting, splinting, things of that nature, we have a track for that. We also have a track for gastroenterology, so learning all about the digestive system, colonoscopies, ultrasounds, endoscopies. So something exciting and constructive to do with your time on a Saturday. This is just fantastic knowledge that you are gaining as a high school, college, or post-baccalaureate student. So in addition to the Saturday Morning Professor series, we also offer academic advising. Again, no man is an island. You cannot do this all by yourself. It is very important that you have strong academics. And again, we understand that not everybody is going to be a stellar student. I struggled with certain things. And so I, again, wish I would have had something like the I Am Able Foundation to help me out. But again, I got my battle scars and lived to tell about it. But again, wanted to give back so that students did not have to go through some of the challenges that I had to, or Dr. Conway, our founder, had to. If you are interested in learning about medical research, we actually have a summer research health policy and clinical immersion program. We've got the Jesse Brown VA Scholars Program, which is absolutely exciting, so that students were able to spend the summer at the Jesse Brown VA in little white coats, going around on rounds, which is when we go in the morning and go and see all of our patients, check up on our patients, talk about what happened overnight, go over their labs, so on and so forth. You will get the opportunity to do that as a mentee with the I Am Able Foundation. There is a separate application process, I believe, for that, but again, a fantastic opportunity for you to get your feet wet, your hands dirty, to get in there and actually go and see actual live patients that are in the hospital and learn from the doctors. during that time. It's an amazing program. We've had heard a fantastic feedback from the students that participated in that program. Now, of course, some of you may not realize that you can't just go to medical school without an entrance exam. Ooh, it's a beast. It's called the MCAT, M-C-A-T, or Medical College Admissions Test. And I will tell you, having had to take that exam, that is not an exam you want to do bad on, because if you do bad on it, you're not going to medical school. Case in point, and we know it's hard. A lot of students may not be the greatest test takers or may struggle with that, but we got you. We absolutely have you here at the I Am Able Foundation because we have a summer MCAT prep course. I don't know how some of you may or may not know, but the MCAT prep courses are very costly. We're talking thousands of dollars in some cases. And we understand that everybody just does not have the finances to do so. So we actually have a summer MCAT prep course that you can participate in to get you ready for the MCAT, the Medical College Admissions Test. Maybe you're interested in learning how to become a CPR instructor or learn how to teach CPR, cardiopulmonary respiration. Our CPR classes, we actually offer a course called the 100 Hearts CPR course. So you actually have the opportunity to get CPR certified and learn how to become a CPR instructor. Wow, fantastic. That looks great on a resume. And we also have cultural immersion opportunities. So maybe you are interested in traveling. Of course, this kind of depends on COVID restrictions and travel restrictions. But we have a summer immersion program in Costa Rica with one of our physician mentors that takes a group of students to Costa Rica every summer to learn about healthcare there and learn how to speak Spanish. If you do not speak Spanish, which is a valuable skill these days if you're working anywhere in the healthcare field. Likewise, we weren't able to go this year. I think the last time we went was in January of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. But I went on a tour to Cuba, Havana, Cuba. Yes, we actually had the opportunity to go and learn about the Cuban healthcare system. So that was on pause, obviously, the last couple years just due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but we hope to be up and running again with that in 2024. And we usually try to do those during your school breaks, your holiday breaks. So again, if you are interested, we want you to head over to the I Am Able Foundation website, www.iamable.org. The application is available for you there. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to complete. Remember, if you're a high school student, you must be from the Chicagoland area. We need a minimum GPA of at least a 3.0. We will make some exceptions for that, but you'll need to reach out to us at applications@iamable.org if you have special circumstances. And of course, we have 2 short essays for you as well. So again, if you're interested in becoming a part of the I Am Able Foundation, applications are open. They will be open through March 15th. Please head on over to our website, www.iamable.org. Remember, ABLE is spelled A-B-E-L, and we have all the information there on our website. Thank you so much for listening this evening. Again, I am your host, Dr. Renee Roberts, physician mentor with the I Am Able Foundation. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week.